So, Julian Assange, he's just celebrated his 50th birthday. He turned 50 years old on July 3rd, and he celebrated his birthday in prison, right? That's where he's been locked up, Belmarsh prison. So, as you may recall, this is a Category A men's prison. It meaning maximum security. It's on the outskirts of London, and obviously, when I say celebrate, we don't mean that, literally or figuratively. Unfortunately, he's a political prisoner, right? He's been what's a journalist doing in a maximum security prison to begin with? Well, that's what you get when you publish evidence of war crimes. And so people turned up to celebrate his birthday outside the prison. I can show you just over here. There's some footage you can see from outside of Belmarsh prison, right? And of course, not just Assange supporters turned up, but some MPs, and we'll get to the MPs in a second. But shout out to Team Assange, really. Shout out to Team Assange. You guys are great. You guys are great. So they held a vigil birthday party in front of the prison, right? And again, huge respect, huge shout out to Team Assange. The activists are really good. They don't just do this because it's his birthday. They, evidently, they do this every week. They're holding vigils all the time, and not just in London. They're doing this, worldwide. Really, so shout out to them. They do a lot of amazing work. And just over here, I want to show you, you had a couple of MPs who came by to speak. Among them was Jeremy Corbyn, right? So the former leader of the Labour Party. They had a whole smear campaign going against him, which we've covered before. So take a look at what Jeremy Corbyn had to say.
He has spoken the truth about what has happened around the world, about abuses of human rights. That is what journalists should and must always do. That's real journalism.
Well, I'm here at Belmarsh prison, where earlier today protesters joined a group of MPs who hand-delivered a letter demanding for Julian Assange to receive access to these MPs, which access has so far been totally denied. It comes as around 6 months ago now, the UK Criminal Court, the Old Bailey in central London, blocked Julian Assange's States, yet Julian Assange still remains totally locked up in this high security MPs who said he's simply in jail for exposing the truth and exposing war crimes too. Plus Stella Morris, who is the mother of his 2 very young children, and his partner, who says he's effectively now a political prisoner and their children are living without their father.
Every time I see Julian in here, it's difficult for me to really understand how this can still be going on. Julian is a political prisoner in the UK. He's been in there for over 2 years, and on Saturday he's turning 50. The last time Julian was a free man was in his 30s. He was 39 when he came to this country, invited by The Guardian, to publish evidence of US war crimes in Iraq, abuse in Guantanamo Bay, the excesses of the Afghan war, and the US diplomatic cables that evidenced US rendition and torture.
We think it is completely unreasonable, unfair and outrageous that not in our capacity as private citizens, but in our capacity as parliamentarians, as elected members of parliament, we are being denied the ability and the opportunity to meet with Julian Assange, which is in the public interest, So 20 parliamentarians on a cross-party basis have signed this letter, which we'll be handing in today.
Well, of course, the United States is now...
Right. So you see, people are showing up. People are showing up. Even politicians. They're trying to. They're demanding to see Assange, and of course, not allowed. You have to recall that Julian Assange. I mean, even his legal team. He couldn't see them for quite some time, for several months before his extradition hearing started. So to call this due process or anything of that sort, this is absurd, right? If there was anything clean about this, he wouldn't be there in the first place. You have to remember, this guy is not guilty of any crime. He hasn't been convicted of anything. He is not serving a sentence. What is he doing in a jail? Never mind a maximum security jail. He's not serving a sentence. He's not convicted. What is going on here? Can you tell me what kind of a country puts an innocent journalist in a jail? In a maximum security jail? Well, the United Kingdom, the United States, apparently. So the next time someone, from these countries where the West wants to talk about authoritarianism and, freedom of the press, laugh in their face. That's what you do. And you tell them about Julian Assange. So unfortunately, this is where he's, quote unquote, celebrating his birthday in a jail, and you have to keep in mind, Julian Assange spent the last decade, so his entire 40s, can you imagine that? His 40s have been spent, well, equally, doing some of the most important journalistic work in modern history, but at the same time, also being persecuted, right? This is a persecution, whether it's in Sweden, whether it's in the UK, whether it's, across the Atlantic in the US, he's being persecuted. I mean, this is the quintessential example of what? A political persecution. That's what it is. It's a political witch hunt. They're going after him because of what he published. Yes? So, this is the key takeaway that they're not playing by the rules. There's no due process here. This is completely unjust and unfair. And, even though there are some MPs and people in government who know that this is wrong, I mean, this is an international criminal effort, right? And it's not just against Assange, it's against journalism itself, right? So you had, I just want to finish over here with, before we dive into to more details of the case, you had some pictures over here. Once again, huge shout out to Team Assange. Look at them. Look how brilliant they are. All over the world, right? They're just out here representing, man. Look at this. Piccadilly Circus, right? Out here in Berlin. Brandenburger Tor. All over the world. Well done. Shout out to you guys. Good job. They always come through. They always show up, right? They also had a boat. They rented a boat, the Free Assange boat. And this is actually pretty cool because, look, you see the Palestinian flag? I love you guys. You guys are the best. Honestly, you're the best. And I saw a picture also of Stella Morris, so Assange's partner, right? And one of their children on the boat. And behind them, you can see the building of MI5 or MI6? I can't remember. Shit. But the point here is it's the nickname for it is Babylon on Thames, right? I love that name, Babylon on Thames, because it looks like Babylon. I want to pick up. Hold on. I want to show you the picture over here. Give me a second. I want to see if I can pull it up. So if you have Babylon on Thames. Yeah, it's the MI6 building, isn't it? Yeah. So look at that. It really looks like the Tower of Babel. So, yeah. You've seen it in a James Bond movie, I think, as well, right? Yeah, the MI6 building. So anyway, this is the criminal heart of Britain, along with Whitehall and various other places, right? So I think